Good evening, and welcome to Wagon's World. It was a wild weekend in the news cycle with stories breaking left and right, and we've got everything you need to know. If there's one thing that Washington bureaucrats fear more than a balanced budget, it's losing their cushy DEI funded jobs. Well, President Trump just made their worst nightmare come true. Trump is once again delivering on his promises, this time by purging the bloated DEI bureaucracy from the federal government. Nearly 400 government workers who made a career out of pushing divisive identity politics are now on leave. That's right. And $420 million in DEI contracts have been scrapped. This is the type of decisive action that reminds Americans why Trump was elected in the first place. The government should be serving all Americans, not functioning as a taxpayer funded political indoctrination center. While Trump is draining one swamp, he's tackling another by restarting border wall construction. The same materials that the Biden administration left rotting in the desert while illegal crossings skyrocketed are finally being put to use. This isn't just a political statement. It's an absolute necessity. With record numbers of illegal migrants flooding the country, Trump isn't waiting around for Congress to act. He's doing what he promised to do all along, securing the border and putting America first. Meanwhile, Trump is reportedly considering dismantling the IRS expansion, potentially reversing Biden's plan to add nearly 90,000 new IRS agents to shake down working Americans. We were told these agents were going after billionaires, but let's be real. Small businesses and middle class Americans were always the true targets. Trump knows that the IRS should be holding the government accountable, not weaponizing it against citizens. If he follows through, it will be one of the biggest victories for economic freedom in modern history. The failures of the current system aren't just visible at the border or in the tax code. They're also in our schools. A stunning report out of New York City reveals that 100 teachers have been accused of inappropriate relationships with students. 100. That's not just an oversight, that's a broken system. The same education system that spends more time lecturing kids on social justice than on math and history can't even keep them safe. Maybe if school administrators focused on hiring competent educators instead of activists, they wouldn't have a crisis on their hands. And while our education system is failing at home, national security threats may be brewing in the sky. Mystery drones have been spotted all over the country, and nobody seems to have an answer. These aren't hobbyist drones. They're sophisticated, possibly foreign surveillance devices, and the lack of urgency in investigating them is concerning. Unlike Biden, who's let national security crises unfold in slow motion, Trump is demanding answers. He's calling for a full-scale investigation into what these drones are, who's behind them, and whether they pose a direct threat to American security. The real question is, will intelligence agencies comply, or will they stonewall like they always do? In other news, RFK Jr. is proposing a new way to handle America's addiction crisis: wellness farms. His plan would involve moving addicts out of cities and into structured farm environments where they could work, detox, and rebuild their lives. It's unconventional, but at least it's an actual solution, unlike the current system that just enables addiction with safe injection sites and lax drug laws. Will it work? Who knows? But trying something different is better than doing nothing, while the crisis spirals out of control. Trump is also making it clear that he won't tolerate defiance when it comes to immigration enforcement. Today, Colombia recently had rejected deportation flights, refusing to take back illegal immigrants that were sent home. And that was a mistake. Trump wasted no time responding with a 25% tariff on all Colombian imports, with plans to escalate that to 50% within a week if Colombia does not comply. He also suspended visa processing at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, effectively shutting down legal travel into the U.S. from Colombia. The message was clear. If a country refuses to cooperate with U.S. immigration laws, they will face real economic consequences. And guess what? It worked. Colombian President Gustavo Petro has completely caved under pressure, now offering to use his presidential plane to help facilitate deportation flights. That's right. The same leader who was trying to stonewall U.S. immigration is now scrambling to comply. This is exactly why Trump's leadership is different. He doesn't negotiate from a place of weakness. He applies pressure, forces accountability, and gets results. The Biden administration would have let Colombia dictate terms and continued bending over backwards for foreign governments. Trump reminded them who's in charge. And finally, House Speaker Mike Johnson has invited Trump to address Congress as part of his ambitious 100-day agenda. This is a bold move that signals the GOP is rallying behind Trump's leadership and putting America First policies back in the spotlight. Expect the left to melt down. Expect the media to clutch their pearls, and expect Trump to own the moment like he always does. So, what have we learned tonight? Trump is following through, slashing bloated DEI programs, restarting the border wall, and possibly gutting the IRS expansion before it can be used to harass American taxpayers. The education system is failing on a massive scale, and New York City's teacher scandal is just the latest example. Unidentified drones are looking in the skies, and Trump wants answers while the media stays silent. RFK Jr. may actually have an idea worth exploring for once, and the GOP is doubling down on Trump's leadership, setting the stage for what's coming next. This is Wagon's World, the show that tells it like it is. If you're tired of the media's lies and you want real news, you know where to find us. We'll see you next time.